Hello world, welcome back to Razor RC. So I've got a chance to run my Schumacher CAT L1 Evo the last couple days. I just want to give you some of my initial thoughts and show you what I'm running actually in my buggy, and I also have some little running video here at the end of this, so check that out after I talk a little bit. So here it is, the Schumacher CAT L1 Evo. Been running probably about, I don't know, 15-20 packs through it so far. As you can see, I got kind of a basic paint job. Body is still kind of ugly, but whatever, you know, it's a runner. It seems okay, so not a big deal. Running J Concepts swaggers up front and Proline. I think these are the Prism 2.0s in the rear, something like that. What does that say? Prism. Anyways, yeah. So my local track is carpet, obviously, and so I just want to talk about the buggy real quick. So take off the body here. Electronics wise, I'm running a Hobbywing V3.1 stock spec ESC, Trinity Punisher 13.5 turn motor, little Savox 1258 TG, and then the usual RX 481 or 471, I always forget, receiver there. Macklin LCG battery, 4500 milliamp hours, working pretty good. The other changes I made, I'm running the black springs front and rear, and then I'm also running the thicker sway bar in the rear, the 4 stripe one. I think other than that, pretty much all stock. I am running this 27 tooth pinion and an 83 tooth spur gear. That's the largest size pinion they make, a 27 tooth. Actually, I ordered a long boss pinion. I haven't actually put that on yet, so I'm just kind of running that with just a little bit of tooth engagement, but it seems okay. Oh, and then I'm running the aluminum thumb screws. Highly recommended. Definitely get that. The stock plastic ones will strip out in like your third battery pack or something. So those are the changes I made. Overall, the buggy's pretty darn good. I'm running the Joran Neumann carpet setup. Seems pretty good. I'm still missing some of the thicker sway bars and some of the other minor changes, like I think he's running a little more anti-squat in the rear, but I need another piece for that. So I got that on order. Buggy overall handles really nicely. Power delivery is super smooth. The belts are awesome. This definitely is not a beginner RC car. There's a lot of adjustments you got to make out of the box, setup wise, and if you don't have experience with them, they could be pretty dodgy. So spur gear wise, you know, you got to get your spur gear setting correctly, of course. Also, there's 2 belt tensioners, one in the back, one in the front. I think the rear one they say to put at about 1/3 of the way, third setting. I don't know if you can see that big sort of 2mm screw right there, but about 1/3 of the way. Front tension is a little bit tighter. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know what degree that is, but I guess slightly less than the slope of this thing right there. So yeah, if you've never driven a belt drive car before, you could definitely get that kind of wrong. The other funky thing is this thing actually has a one-way clicker, or I don't know what you call it, one-way adjuster here, actually underneath the motor wires there. There's a little screw or nut you can tighten down, and basically you can kind of adjust the front wheel braking bias, so you can actually soften that a little bit so that on high traction surfaces such as carpet, under braking, you can actually soften the front end braking. And I forgot about that adjustment when I first drove this thing. I was wondering what the heck was going on because it didn't brake all that well. So you definitely have to tighten that down. But it is adjustable, and it's got this one-way bearing, so kind of funky, but it also makes kind of some funky sounds with that. It sounds like maybe the belt is slipping or whatever, but yeah, definitely a lot of adjustments, and they don't tell you exactly what to set it to. It's a little bit in contrast to the TLR 22.4 2.0 I have. It's also belt drive, but all the belt settings are pretty much fixed. Instead of having these sort of ball bearing adjusters that you can kind of raise or lower or tighten and loosen, you just kind of got these little inserts that you can like kind of stretch out the belts. And pretty much on the TLR, it's easy, you just set it and not really worry about it. But on this guy, you actually have to know how much belt tension to set. So that is definitely a little more tricky. But overall, this kit is a little bit easier to work on. I mean, everything's not covered. It's all exposed. A little bit louder than the TLR, of course, because the belts are open. Not as good probably for loose dirt, dusty conditions. But yeah, overall, awesome little buggy. Handles super good. Very flat. Power delivery is extremely smooth. You can just kind of get on the throttle. The belts just feel very direct. So out of the box, I think the buggy is just a little bit soft. Definitely springs are way too soft. You want to get stiffer springs. Actually, fair amount of flex in this vehicle. It doesn't look like it because of these stiff carbon fiber pieces up top, but the chassis is quite thin, 2 millimeters. Definitely feels softer than you would imagine, even with the stiff springs, even with the sway bars, all this carbon fiber. It's actually got quite a bit of flex. Definitely lands quite plush. Shocks are pretty good. I'm not a big fan of the design. You kind of get these two-piece shock caps. I'm gonna order some aluminum ones to put on. I got these tapered springs, not a fan of. I don't really like these ball cup style shock cups or shock rod ends on the bottom, and on the top they just kind of snap on. So kind of annoying, not a big fan of those. But other than that, yeah, the buggy's really, really nice. Happy I picked this up. Definitely needs to do some more tuning to get it working just quite right. But overall, really nice buggy. If you're thinking about picking one up, you know, it's definitely something I think worth looking into. So yeah, check out this running video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button, and look for more reviews soon. Thanks for watching.